What's up, horse racing fans? Welcome to Saratoga. Today we are going through the Acorn Stakes. Yes, we are at Saratoga, no Belmont. Belmont at Saratoga, if you would, for this Grade 1 $500,000 stakes race for the fillies, brought to you by DraftKings Horse. So we're going to go through this field, giving you kind of a look at each horse and then kind of a top pick, next up contender, and a long shot to take note of for this betting on Friday, June 7th, leading up to, of course, the Belmont Stakes, again, being raced at the wonderful Saratoga. All right, so we're going a mile and an eighth here. Right off the rail, we have number one, Becky's Joker, a big price in here at 30-1. Gary Contessa, Paco Lopez, has only raced 2 times. Both of those races, however, coming out of Grade 3 stakes races. Winner of the Schuylerville, I believe is how it's pronounced, at Saratoga, going 6 and then 6.5. Again, the Adrenok, just nothing whatsoever in there. Was beat out by pretty heavy class company, Bright Work. Here you come again. There's some other really good horses in there, but the horse was taking a lot of money. However, really going to stretch out, so definitely going to be interesting to see on the stretch out what this one's able to do. Kind of some slower speed ratings coming out of the last 2 races. Workouts look okay, especially the last one being yesterday, June 2nd. Only went 3 furlongs though, so has yet to really put in anything over 4 or even 5 furlongs on the training track. That's really wowed anyone to take note of. Number 2, we have Power Squeeze. Here we have Jorge Delgado, Javier Castellano, usually a big guy on these big days. So we'll see. This is 12-1 currently. Comes out of the Kentucky Oaks on the slop. Probably just didn't like it whatsoever. Did finish 6th, however, made a pretty good run late. Something to take note of, as this one kind of came late and was able to pick up some ground in the slop. Right now we're 50-50 on what's it going to be, if it's going to be rainy or if we're going to have a dry, fast track. But looking back 2 times before, we come out of the Suncoast, the Gulfstream Park Oaks, 92 career best speed figure in there, beat out Ways and Means into Champaign. Some really good horses for Power Squeeze. Ways and Means will probably be a heavy favorite on the card again. So kind of wanted to take watch of. The workouts are about average. As you can see, the most recent one has been at Monmouth. This was May 24th. So has yet to put I'm sure there's a workout leading up to the Acorn. But so far, nothing that's kind of stuck out to us. If it's a clean track, definitely one that could have some late speed. But it's probably going to have a similar pace scenario as the Oaks did. And will be one that's definitely running late again. Leslie's Rose, kind of a disappointment in the Kentucky Oaks, 13th in there after firing off 3 wins. Winner of the big Ashland that everybody had this horse talked up about, but ran into the likes of course, the Thorpedo Anna, and Just FYI. Just kind of weakened. I don't know if the distance is what this horse prefers. Could be better going short, maybe sprints or 1-turn mile. But we'll see. Todd Pletcher, Irad Ortiz, this is owned by Whisper Hill. It's got the connections. It's got the pedigree into mischief. I just think this one's better set up to be a sprinting style horse. Does have a pretty good workout. This was May 31st, 4 furlongs, 49-1. That was just a breeze. So, again, probably one to leave off in here. Just on the outside, just not sure if it was the slop in the Oaks that kind of troubled this horse. There's really not a whole lot besides that went wrong. Just really never had anything going for it. It did come out pretty early, was a mid-pace threat, and then just kind of slumped off when they went going pretty quick. So dry track, probably going to be better for Leslie's Road. However, we're looking at some rain possibility for Friday in Saratoga. Number 4, Just FYI. Here's the FYI. This is a horse we are picking to beat Thorpedo Anna. Thorpedo Anna is probably going to be our top pick, but value, try to beat her. Just FYI is what we're going to try with. 2nd in the Oaks, 2nd in the Ashland, 1st in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Again, speed figures are increasing. One, to have a little bit of early speed. Hopefully Junior Alvarado sits this one a little bit closer to the pace. I think that's kind of where the problem was. Kind of got a little bit shuffled back early. Kind of came out there 7th. Hopefully we have a little bit better gate break in here from the 4. Not too much speed to the inside, however, a little bit of speed on the outside. So I think just FYI, should be able to get out early and hopefully catch a rail ride would be best fitting for her to make a run at beating Thorpedo Anna. Like I said, 2 career best speed figures, again, in the Kentucky Oaks and the Ashland. She was beat out by Leslie's Rose and Thorpedo. But I think kind of comes in here looking really good on the workouts. May 31st, May 20th, both of those. She was first on the work tab in there. 5 furlongs, 101, 4 furlongs, and 47. So one that is kind of bouncing back in really great shape. Thought this one may kind of skip out here, but I love that she's pointed in here. Justifies are running phenomenally right now. Definitely going to take a swing, 5-2, at a win wager just to beat out Thorpedo Anna if possible. Probably playing a pretty heavy exacta with just FYI Thorpedo Anna. Number 5, my main squeeze. We have Mike Maker, Luis Saez. Again, this one comes out of the 8 bells, winner of that at Churchill on a sloppy track. Take note of the slop. Possibility of some slop or muddy tracks for Friday. It seems like every big day we've had to play around some weather issues or weather capping, if you would. So kind of look into that of this horse could be a pretty good mudder. Time back before went in the grade 2 fantasy, however, stretching out mile and a 16th, and the horse had absolutely nothing. So another one I think the distance will get to. Again, sloppy conditions, though, could play favor. I just think the distance is going to be too much for my main squeeze, and has been beaten out by Thorpedo Anna, West Omaha, Tabit Janal in here. So probably one to leave off. 12-1, though, is pretty good for a Maker and Saez. I just think the distance is too much. Could be an early pace runner in here if the horse can get out. That's usually Saez's MO, so we'll see if my main squeeze kind of gets out early. Number 6, Where's My Ring? Tyler Gaffleone, Val Brinkerhoff, owned by Michael McMillan. 10th in the Kentucky Oaks again. Probably didn't like the slop in there. Did come out a half a step slow, so just completely missed the break, as you could see. 11th and 10th just was buried, and then really no rallying whatsoever to finish 10th. Did have Jose Lascano on it. We'll get Tyler Gaffleone aboard her. In here, 9-1 lifetime, 4-1 in 2024. The winner of the Gazelle kind of set her up for the Oaks, and then kind of slumped and was a disappointing 10th in the Oaks. The workouts look good. Probably the one that has the best recent workouts, as you see, June 1st, mile or 4 furlongs going 47-3, and then did get a workout on the slop at Churchill Downs, 47-4, 3 out of 22 in here. Again, going 4 furlongs. The distance should not be an issue. Where's My Ring came out a half step slow, if you read in the PPs, and then just kind of steadied and then just could not gain any ground again in the slop. I like the workout the horse has over muddy, sloppy surfaces 2 times leading into this race. If that was kind of the issue, good deal that they kind of had some rain on a training day. They threw her out there, and she performed better than probably what she did in the Kentucky Oaks. Again, going to run into, again, the class of Thorpedo Anna, just FYI, in here as well. So another one that's probably a question mark, probably going to be 4th-ish on some tickets if we decide to play it like that. Just one of them that's missing the top 3 right now just because of the big question mark in that Kentucky Oaks. Number 7, we have Regulatory Risk. 3rd in the Kentucky Oaks here for Chad Brown, Jose Ortiz, Klarovich Stables. Woo! Sire of Omaha Beach. Looks pretty good. Workouts are okay, about average. Nothing that's kind of thrown anything out. This horse could be early pace. Definitely has some early speed. Outside here, possibility going to have to contend with the inside of Where's My Ring and Thorpedo Anna, and maybe even Gunsong, on who's going to get the lead in here. The outside horses all have an advantage. I think helps Just FYI a lot to get down to the inside. However, Regulatory Risk has speed all around her. She's going to have trouble, but the horse did fairly well of kind of closing a little bit. She kind of came out 8th in the Kentucky Oaks and was able to close into 3rd on a sloppy wet track. It's had 3 goes over and off track, winning at Aqueduct, 5th at Aqueduct again in the Busher, and then comes back in the Kentucky Oaks, finishing 3rd. So again, one to watch for a wet or off track. So far, a lot of these horses, obviously coming out of the Oaks, have that wet form with him already. It's just who's training, who's looking the best, and kind of who's going to set that best trip. If it's wet, obviously you want to be out early, and simple enough, early speed has done well in the mud. Number 8, Gunsong. This is a new entrant, one that did not run in the Kentucky Oaks, but comes out of the Black-Eyed Susan. Winner in there, kind of setting herself up for Mark Hennig. Johnny V gets them out in here yet again, and looks to go back-to-back in some graded stakes wins. Kind of liked her in the Black-Eyed Susan, looked really good. Was the post-time odds-on favorite in there. I believe it was like 2-1 actually, but ran a pretty good 88 speed figure. However, it's not comparable to what Thorpedo Anna, Just FYI, and even Leslie's Rose has been running, but it's a career best. It's a horse that's getting better. It's a horse that's on the improvement, and we are getting Johnny V, who's hitting at 15% at 12-1 right now. A horse coming off a win. However, the rest is a big question. If it's enough rest, it's about 2 weeks less than what some of these other horses are getting. Workouts are okay. 4 furlongs on the Belmont. I believe it was 49-4. So a little bit off of some of the other runners, but again, pretty good price on a horse that's coming off of a win. Tie up between the long shots in here of number 7 and number 8, Regulatory Risk, and number 8, Gunsong, of which one we're going to use. Kind of a split decision right now. Kind of waiting on the track conditions. We get a little bit of slop, probably sticking with Regulatory Risk. If it's going to be fast, sticking with Gunsong. And number 9, the favorite, Thorpedo Anna, coming in at 8-5, Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez. Kenny and Brian looking to do the double yet again with the Acorn and possibly the Belmont. How awesome would that be to win these 2 Triple Crown races with both your filly and your colt? Just unbelievable feat that these guys are kind of set up for right now. Again, comes out of Kentucky Oat on the slop, wires the field, barely gets out by a head, and then just kind of puts them all away late at the end. I think wins by possibly 4 lengths over Just FYI. Winner of the Fantasy, the Goldenrod, both of those grade 2 or second in the Goldenrod. Speed figures are increasing. Is she going to regress is the big question. 96 career best speed figure that last time out. Do we want a horse that's improving, that has not hit a 90 mark, or is she good enough where she's going to bounce and hit 100 in this race? I mean, this horse probably could have ran in the Belmont Stakes and hit the board. She's looks really good. She's training with Mystic Dan. Her last workout, June 1st, in there, she was 4 out of 5. Mystic Dan did beat her out in that workout. I believe he went 101. She goes 102. May 22nd, she is the first out of 45, going 4 furlongs and 46-1. So I think this last one here was just a little tune-up for her coming into the Acorn. But man, she's in great form. She looks great on the track. She loves running with old Dan. So definitely one that's going to take a lot of money. 8-5 would be a gift on her. But we're probably going to see something a little crazier. So obviously, Thorpedo, Just FYI, kind of being our top picks. If we're going to try to beat Thorpedo Anna, Just FYI is the way to go. Thorpedo Anna is probably the top pick in here. Going with Just FYI second. Where's My Ring coming in third. And then the 7 and the 8 of Regulatory Risk and Gunsong being our long shot picks. Again, regulatory risk probably on the off track. Looks pretty good in here if we get a little bit of slop or mud. Gun Song, if it's fast and dry, definitely has some speed to be a possible contender in here, especially coming off a win in that Black Eyed Susan. So there's our picks for the Grade 1 Acorn presented by DraftKings Horse. Make sure you like, subscribe down below. We'll be dropping all of our Friday and Saturday Belmont at Saratoga race picks for each of these stakes races on each of those days, starting with, obviously, June 7th, the Friday races, and then ending things off with the June 8th Big Belmont Day. So we thank you for watching. Hopefully you wager and win big on this exciting weekend of Saratoga racing.